Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger 2023 Spring. I'm Atlas, joined by Chronicler for the third best of three of the evening. If our minds explode, hopefully we just have a good time on the way. Thank you so much for watching so far, and very looking forward to this final best of three.
I am a little worried after what was a very surprising first series and a very competitive second series. This is the one on paper that could not be further apart. In case of Nongshim, there were question marks. In case of Fred Brion, there's a little less because I think a large part of the roster is the same, and they're also playing against a team that we know is one of the best in challengers. Especially the top side of the map, I think could make the jump to LCK if they weren't playing behind Showmaker and Canyon, and you know that's a bit of a problem.
Honestly, the entirety of D plus
Kia in general is
looking pretty good.
So really rough matchup here for Brion. Now we've already seen today that upsets can happen, but last year when it was still Fred and Brion, we saw a lot of struggle. Really for the team where they ended up in dead last. Team overall didn't look that great. Obviously, main team also going through a pretty big transition, and I wonder what's going to be the case here for Bro. I think Damwon should be looking to come in, dunk on them, and peace out again. Damwon also getting some extra practice in over the off-season as they participated in a number of other tournaments, or some of their players at least. So really curious to see what they'll bring here today.
I also think the loss against Nongshim would have probably lit a bit of a fire underneath them as well, considering the fact that that was definitely an upset win in the final of Challenger towards the end of last year. I can imagine a bit of a chip on the shoulders of the players has potentially developed, so I would expect them to be playing as hard as possible here in this first game to try and at least get off on the right foot. That would be my expectation anyway. As, Brion not necessarily considered the toppest of the echelons of competition here in Challenger, at least.
We love them.
We do. And I think now, given the fact that Fredit has left the team and they are just Brion, we need to convince someone to make a company called GigaChad so they can actually be GigaChad Brion. What do you reckon?
Good luck on that one.
I mean, it doesn't have to be just me. We could all do it together. And together we can achieve anything. Isn't that what they say?
I'm good, but you can try.
Okay, Peru doesn't think that we're going to be able to do that.
I don't know where you are going to find the actual... I'm treating this with the
Maybe
care.
It's already a company.
No, I'm treating this with the care and... and the attention it deserves. I don't see a feasible way where we can create a company named GigaChat, sponsor it, or like make it profitable to the point where we can sponsor an LCK team and then sponsor a team.
But they're just Brion, right? And so theoretically, we don't actually need to sponsor them with any money.
You do. Otherwise, they're not gonna say.
But what if they just understand that that'd be better?
I'm not going to say you can be a name sponsor for free. That's a bad business decision. I don't see it happening.
Damn it. Actually, yeah, maybe we could crowdfund it. Could find a way to crowdfund it for summer.
Good luck on that one. I want to sing the praises. I want to sing the praises of some of the players here on Damwon.
Okay. Or on D+.
On D+ Kia.
It begins. It begins.
As in case you're tuning in for the first time, maybe you never caught the unofficial Chronicler co-stream on Twitch. Completely understandable, even though
sponsored by Soup.
It had one of the best commercials that I think
has ever been made.
In general, it really is advertisement magic. As wow, we're getting the fans.
The full Challenger fan signs as well is super dope, as well as buying Poolbay and Lucid merch.
Yeah.
And this is only a selection of the fans here at the arena as well. So really awesome to see. Like super awesome to see. And actually, I think that that the one on the right also had it signed by all the players as well. That is Challenger dedication. Are you jealous? Are you feeling like someone's coming for your title?
Yeah. Well, I'm just there for the global side, right? I don't think any of the Challenger players know who I am.
I mean, that is true.
I dedicate my entire life to Challengers. But that's okay, as we have someone with a D+ Kia thing, and then instead they drew over it with Breon and Hearts.
Oh no!
Look at that. That's a true.
Whoa.
That's a Giga Chat move right there.
That is. That absolutely is. Wow, that's brutal though. Just going over to the D plus Kia like table or whatever, and then just scrolling over it with a different green. Oh god, that's.
Well,
Never thought I'd live to see the day.
They're not green anymore, right? They're not mint green, and that's gone now.
Yeah, I know, but at least like it could have been. Imagine if it was like the old Damwon green,
and then they changed it with the Breon Forest green.
Oh man, brutal, absolutely brutal. However, let's get into it. Let's break down some of these players because we do have a big challenge on our hands. We hop into our final matchup of the evening: Breon versus D plus Kia. Two names that have changed, that are still close enough to the old names that we are quite confused. So, one of these players I definitely recognize because I loved Gaimin. I was a big fan of Gaimin.
It's Gamin, but feisty, loopy gaming.
I know. Where was the feisty, loopy gaming gone? What are we going to do without them?
It's not a thing anymore, unfortunately. Loopy is actually now on D plus Kia, although I don't expect that he will change, or that he will play rather. Playing there behind Bible. The main thing for the Breon roster is incorporating the new players. This, though...
I think I know where Loopy went.
Oh my, okay.
I think I know where Loopy went.
Well, now we know. Wow, he's playing. That's wild. That's really cool. Bible had that one Amumu game that everyone...
yeah. I was a huge fan of
Everyone remembered
Bible.
that one Amumu game. But outside of that, both within, I think, Challengers and within... the overall LCK, the games that he played, he was fairly up and down. However, Loopy coming in is really interesting, really
I think he just knows. He just knows a bit more about the Breon ecosystem, and so he's coming in for those inside strats.
Ah, there you go, yeah.
He's like, come in, I'm coming for you.
That's what matters in Challenger.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's the organizational knowledge, so that you can find the, okay.
Yeah,
well,
you can find their Achilles heel. He's already tapped in, you know? He already knows, understands the ins and outs of the Breon playstyle.
It's a new team.
No, the Breon hive mind.
But it's a new team.
Created by Breon.
They're not the same team, Atlas.
Gamin is still there, okay? You just wait and see. Loopy is going to know. He's going to know everything, and it's going to be a huge brain move by D plus Kia. Almost said it. All right, here we are in the champion select for game number 1, or match number 1, if you're reading the top of the screen. Poppy to be the first ban. Also, the first time we've seen Poppy today out of the 5 games we've already witnessed. An interesting consideration there.
Reason is Lucid is insane. Lucid is really good. To me, the best jungler within Challengers by a large margin.
Breon seems to agree based on these bans.
Yeah. Well, this is a great choice. Lucid, to me, is the key to this team. Him, Poolbay, and Thanatos are very much the core of what makes this Tom 1 roster. It actually, it harkens back, right? Like, that's the cool thing to me, to the days of Damwon.
Yeah.
Damwon, like, way back Damwon, like Nuguri, Nuclear, Showmaker Canyon, back when they were still just a Challengers team. Of course, complete structure has changed, but it's this top side that has played together for quite a while now, ever since Chasey left at the end of, I want to say the end of 2021. Don't know if it was spring or summer, as Maokai gonna get taken away as well.
Whoa.
Chase still on the list, and this, for the first time, we're going to see the Lucian Nami come through. I know it's only Lucian locked in, but let's be honest. Yeah, it's Lucian Nami.
We'll see whether D plus Kia get a little bit baited by it, but it's probably not going to be the case. Thanatos could theoretically...
yes,
oh my
please.
God, is this happening? Is Lucid doing it?
Elise is in a... I think Elise is in a great spot at the moment. I don't know if you're... Oh my
God, they're doing it.
Wait.
If they had a locked Lee Sin as well, I would have been so excited. But Heimerdinger is still left available, Chronicler. So are we going to see Lucian Nami versus Ash Heimer? Is that how this is going to go?
That's what's happening. Yeah.
What kind of 4D chess are we witnessing here in this Challenger match?
Okay, I'm calling it now. Like Lucid on Elise, I'm there. I am very excited. This is a jungler that, in my opinion,
oh my God. We've just got archery training bottom lane. Okay, never mind.
Okay, here's the play.
I think it's a pick comp.
Okay,
I think it's a
hear me
pick
out,
comp.
Hear me out. It's the easiest game plan that you could possibly have, right? You have a range advantage. Level 1. Take control of the wave. Slow stack 3 waves. Lucid rushes level 3. You dive bot. They come back to lane. Wave bounces. You slow push back. Dive bot again. And you keep diving bot. You have Elise. There's no counterplay. They're gonna die. Nami's just gonna
I love it.
Be blown up continuously. Oh
and
my
so
God.
now
I love Lucid on Elise. I'm really excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm very excited about this.
I think you're pretty keen about this whole situation.
Renekton's banned. Aw, boo. Boo, bro. No, that's a really good move. That is definitely what you should do and what you want to do. Renekton and Elise go without saying. Even though we've not seen that combo. If you're an all-time league viewer,
we haven't seen it since But it used to be the classic bread and butter, very similar to like Nidalee Renekton,
I think
that
it was
sort of thing.
better Renekton Nidalee.
Yeah,
basically because
you could chain the CC way harder.
You chain CC, and Elise can dive on any wave generally because of that's a dumb one or a D+. There we go. Special as well. Poolway loves his Swain, has been picked up. I don't love picking it blind, but this is something that they've done in the past as well. Does mean that the value overall for Murkthreads goes up with both Swain and Elise. On the flip side, though, I do think that the Varus will be lethality, so in that way you'll benefit from the enemy itemizing more heavily towards them.
Yep, I like it. Nocturne being the consideration here is a highly interesting move. It's going to be locked in as well. So Doiv going to be fighting a bit of fire with fire here as far as the spicy picks are concerned. Polu, what's coming out here as far as our last pick of choice? Ivory's pick hasn't been locked away just yet, so that's likely going to be the consideration here. Of course, options into Swain relatively abound, but going for a very simple one in the Victor. Going to just try and clear the wave a bit faster than the Swain, lock him down under a turret, have a good time that way.
No, it seems to me like the no-brainer.
Yeah.
Not the most exciting pick, but I think rounds out the composition. We have seen that the Gnar versus Cassante matchup is at least neutral. Cassante has more impact in team fights, at least thus far. But I don't think you can go for an AP laner because that would really mean that you have triple AP topside, which is kind of a disaster.
Yep.
And overall, I think that you have 3 lanes where if you get an early lead, if your enemy misses a trade, if you can stack a big wave, you can dive. Top 1 is obviously the most precarious because you need both good setup and also diving Cassante is just no. But every other lane, like Lucid, expect him to path either towards mid or towards bot and need to have a big impact there because this is the kind of situation where if Lucid does nothing pre-level 6 and Doiv can just farm and be Nocturne post 6 and like counter gank everything that Lucid tries to do, game becomes a lot harder to play for D+ Kia.
No, I 100% agree. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this Nocturne is going to be used to mitigate the Elise, because in the 1v1, I kind of like Nocturne being able to spell shield cocoons and things like that.
If you don't get jumped.
Yeah, if you don't just get obliterated, yeah. I think dumb one, D+. I think D+ are going to be sending Lucid towards that bottom side a lot. Like you were saying, ganking Cassante is difficult. You've got double AP into the Victor who can itemize against it relatively comfortably. And then Varus Ashe, so much setup. So I think that if Brionne can make sure that they're protecting their bottom side, they should be having a better time. But here we are, hopping onto the Rift here for the first game of our final series of the night.
Where are my Fed chants?
Yeah, I was waiting for them.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
If we just wait a little bit longer. No, it's all right. We've got the rock out music.
I love the little.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, for all of those who are dedicated to Challenger, knowing exactly when to do the doot-doot-doot-doots,
that's how you know.
That's how you know. That's a real Challenger fan right there. So that's what we're practicing, guys.
God, Lucid's got PTA Elise as well.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, talk about a level 3 power spike. My God. The most interesting thing to me, barring the draft, which love it, I think the bot lane will be extremely oppressive. And I wish good luck to Gamin and Polu for that one, especially with Elise in the game. Is very important is that Loopy is playing, because Bible, LCK, he was okay, had like one really good game, but outside of that, he was alright. You know? Nothing groundbreaking, and seeing Loopy actually play, I mean that Damokia wants to swap away from him. Maybe it's just a single game. Maybe they just want to give him.
Yeah, it could be that like Bible isn't feeling well or something
also
like that.
Also possible. Yeah, we're not really going to read into it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Unless they announce it, I guess we just we assume that
exactly.
There was a reason for the decision. We just don't know.
Yeah, and there is no promotion anymore. That's important to note. The rosters are integrated, so they're basically the same. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, don't walk up. I don't think walking up's a good move.
No.
Oh my god, they are just denying as hard as they can.
Can they deny XP on the top minion? Yeah, they did. Ooh.
Wow. This is really rough. Really rough. Oh my, that combo.
Oh yeah, it's double Halo Blades as well. So like the early game, the extra orders you can get in are they're not a good time.
Like we knew this was going to be bad, right? This isn't a surprise necessarily, but D plus Kia are playing it out very well. And of course, Rahel we already know is a great player. Sitting behind Def makes things hard for him to be able to play on the main roster. However, excited to see what he's going to be able to do here to continue promoting himself as Lucid, pathing level 3.
Okay, no dive
the bottom side of the map.
On the first wave, so maybe they want to set up a bounce. Could also look for an invade.
Good ward.
Oh, Will got spotted here, but I think he sees oh yeah, he'll have the timeout on the ward as well, so he'll know that he's been spotted, and I think just going to assure that they can crash. I don't really think there's dive opportunity here. They might go for it nonetheless. This is Elise. This is what you pick the champion for. You're level 3.
Yeah.
Not a fat wave, but we're going to try regardless.
Yeah, going to throw out an auto. Let's see whether this Cocoon is going to land. The Volatile Spiderling comes on forward. There's the repel just to get them out of the way. Loopy is really far forward, taking a lot of turret shots as Polo's like, I just want to go back to my friend.
They're waiting out the E.
Yeah, there we go. Cocoon going to get cleansed there immediately. The flash forward. Lucid picks up first blood. The juggling is gorgeous. Oh man, why don't D plus Kia get 2 teams in the LCK?
There's a reason, Atlas, why I've been excited about this team, and this is why, right? Like, this is as good as it gets in challengers. This team had all but one when they were broken by the unbreakable mental of Dundon on his 0-7 Jax. Because these kids, they're like 17. They don't know what split pushing is, but that's not what we're getting into. The juggling here is beautiful, and what you see is because of Polu getting zoned out, they're just awaiting the Cocoon cooldown. Gamindo still has his cleanse available, so it feels relatively safe. But then, yeah, the juggling here, making sure that Loopy tanks that one shot, because while the Cocoon was available, Repel wouldn't be yet, so you can't reset the aggro there. Thanatos might be taking a little bit of damage, but with Nocturne early, honestly, you're just looking to get maximum farming done, and that has not been great. Maybe they've been trying to look, might have gotten a single Krug on the top side of the camp, not 100% sure, because that's where he came from, and he hasn't really been able to build up a substantial CS lead. But the key thing is, this is what you need to... He didn't get a
single Krug, because now it's 2 CS, right?
Yeah.
So he would have been on a different number.
This is what you need to do on Elise, and sometimes we don't see Elises do anything for free levels. And Lucid, he's like, I told you, this is what's gonna happen.
Yep, and there are no summoners on this bottom side. And if it ain't broke, like, it's going to be easier this time. Like, this is insane. Cocoon is going to land. There it is. Repel comes up, and this is just so simple. Here for D plus Kia, it's beautifully orchestrated.
They're not letting him play the video game, Atlas.
Yeah. And they're here to play a video game, Chronicler. They should be playing a video game. That's their job. Oh and still Lucid. It's just so cruel. Yeah, I'm gonna give this at least a D+, probably a higher rating. That's the first time and last time I'm gonna do it.
Right? Yeah, like get it out of our system in the challenger cost, so we don't.
This is third best of 3 of the night. Okay, I mean I don't have much of a filter anyway, and so therefore we're just gonna get them out of the way. Yep.
And obviously there's a huge lead for Lucid as well, but the key thing to me is that one of the kills also went to Rahel, who, by the way, interesting, not going for the lethality Varus, actually going for the unhit Varus here.
Interesting.
Which I quite like. I do think that otherwise you might run into issues with consistent DPS later in the game if you do go for the lethality build. But like with the lead, you're able to build up this early. Good luck to Bro, because compositions don't really matter like at a certain point where the lead gets so big, and especially like this is Ashe Varus. This is obnoxious to play into when it's even.
Yeah. And also, I think looking at the Brion team composition as well, it's relatively short range. I feel like you'd be able to get a bunch of autos if you are playing the Varus in a teamfight scenario. And you rely on, you know, volleys flying forward and things like this in order to get fights going.
Also have both Na and Swain as
that's
like,
a big front line.
They're your beefcake, right? They're standing in front of you. They're looking menacing, and you can just try and auto.
Stand in the demonic embrace and feel good, I guess, is how it goes. Lucid going to be tidying up this Rift Scuttler after taking the Drake. That first Wind Drake is going to be secured. Lava Drake coming up next as far as Drake number 2. Earth, Wind, and Fire on the table, potentially.
Could be a case.
Do like me some of that. A little bit early.
It's Earth, Wind, and Lava now.
I mean, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire when you're referencing.
No, not Swain 2!
It's the third time. That's the time that really breaks them. And this time, Doiv is towards that bottom side.
The first 2 times was also plenty of breaking.
Yeah, true.
This is a Bane scenario that we're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Sidestep.
Yeah, really nice sidestep there from Rahel. Gets out of the way of the Aqua Prison. This time, Doiv is able to clean up the camp fast enough, so Lucid's not going to be able to steal it. Nice little fadeaway cocoon for no reason. And he's going to be backing now as well. So not a lot that good old Nocturne can do. And of course, there's just not a lot he can do pre-6 anyway. So just not a lot of good news here for Bro thus far. Thanatos chasing Frim down the lane here.
Imagine thinking there'll be action in top lane.
Yeah, not really going to happen.
Oh, and the big downside is that with the amount of attention that Lucid has paid and Doiv having to try and hover, he hit 6 just now, right? And that's not... Ideally with Nocturne, you want to hit a particularly early level 6, and his first ultimate now, I think, is basically going to be game deciding. If he doesn't find a good Paranoia play to kind of get them back into the game, you don't really have any other avenues, right? Like, scaling on Lucianami, we've talked about this a lot during Worlds as well. I don't think it is just a bully lane anymore. It's like one of those lanes.
No, it's fantastic late game as well, yeah.
Immense, it's mid-game in particular is mine, but even in the late game, we've seen Ruler is a really good example of this, like hard carry Lucian in late game team fights. But they're not going to be in the game, so they don't matter. And then Victor is the same. Like, Victor isn't really the type of hard 1v9 champion. Victor went ahead. It's so oppressive. But when you're playing in a team comp like this, you have relatively limited CC, and you're playing against a monster-fed Elise that got one-tap you, and a Varus that is looking better and better. Like, this lane gank, it has to work.
Yeah.
And I think Damwon, look, they read it like you're getting Herald on top side, you have a lot of vision, nothing's happening there. Wave's already pushed in, you don't need to go anywhere.
Precisely. It's just not a lot of avenues back here for Brion. Shout out to Yundo as well, illustrating that with the slight little zoom in on the Elise as he was panning over Doiv as well. Very nicely done. We might need to double check pronunciation of Doiv. I know for me personally, it just sounds like I'm putting on an accent and saying dive. And he's playing Nocturne, which is messing with my brain completely. Anyway.
It's a toughie.
Yeah, it is a toughie. In the brain, good night, by the way. Hope you sleep well.
That's the level we're at.
That's the level we're at.
Personal good nights in Challenger chat.
Yeah.
It's the community.
No, exactly. That's what it is. We're all here together, and I
this
know
game
in different places around the world, we're covering a lot of different I should go to sleep type times. You know?
Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's actual sleep. Oh God. They're zoning him off the wave again, Atlas.
Yeah, this is just not very nice. To Gamin's credit, only down 20 CS. Kind of thought that number might be higher.
It's not their fault either. Like,
no, absolutely.
This is a perfect example of playing out an aggressive draft well, right? Because how many times have we seen drafts like this and then the Elise does nothing for like the first 6 levels and like...
I used to have a career commentating that. for a long time. Because Elise was picked all the time, and not every jungler plays Elise the correct way. As that amount of pick is just insane. The combination of R buttons between Ashe and Varus, not too bad. Arrow of Corruption, maybe we should call it.
Can't even farm, because he has to keep hovering bot side in case Elise dives.
Yeah.
So like he's just wasting a lot of time not having being able to have efficient farm paths because he just needs to be there. And then the moment they leave,
yeah, it's just the inherent threat of Lucid possibly being there. And that's why, like, in this scenario, in this type of matchup in the jungle, Nocturne versus Elise, Nocturne should have twice the farm.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it should be something like that because he is a massive farming jungler and Elise isn't. But with that inherent advantage, that is just giving Elise so much room to get through the jungle. And that is one of the massive advantages that D plus Kia have put together right now, and why the gold lead is approaching 4,000 when it's only 2 kills, right? But the bottom lane doesn't play the game anymore, and this gold lead is starting to get to ridiculous levels. For like 12 minutes, that's massive.
Additionally, what I really like is that there is no good solution here for Dominic.
The arrow is going to connect. There is a cleanse available, and Paranoia is going to come through to try and deter them as too far forward is Lucid, but does manage to go up into the sky. Tidal Wave is decent, but not a lot of damage is being done. Rahel standing his ground, holds the flash for so long as into the backline goes Poolbay, says welcome to the first day of challenges, Brion. We're going to make it very difficult for you. Never Move has to get flash. This team is a ridiculous team, Chronicler.
I know!
How did they lose the final last year?
Because they've never seen split pushing. It's not a concept that they know. They're too young.
Oh my
One,
goodness.
like, this just, yeah.
This is just beautiful to watch.
Well, what I love, let's look into this play first. You see the normal issue with comp like this might be your long range engage because you don't have a traditional tank, right? But this is where all your advantages that you have paid off. Like Rahel has a shield bow already, right? Like these type of plays, like 2 people die. D plus Kia will win the play if they're not as far ahead as they are here. But 2-3 people might die, right? But instead, they get everything. Okay, we'll allow Lucid to have a lackluster Shelly. That's fine.
No, that's fine.
He doesn't need that. I don't even think we need to charge it, but like,
I think he's certainly put the work in. And honestly, denying the Herald is, oh no, never mind. Like Loopy roams up, Lucid's here, they get the charge anyway.
What I love is there is no good option for Bro, because you can't let bot lane bleed, which is what Dorif was trying to do. But even if you say, okay, let bot lane go, like, look at the other lanes. how are you gonna, like, how are you can't kill Swain. Killing a Gnar is really, really hard as long as Thanatos plays respectful.
That's
the most mind-blowing thing about D plus Kia is that they were able to keep all the players on this team.
Yeah,
like,
true.
They didn't lose anyone in off-season, and I think it's because they clearly recognize, like...
Also, this is a perfect game. They haven't lost a turret plate.
Yeah. They're really good.
Yeah, they are.
It's...
And I watched a few Damwon games last season as well, but I guess I didn't really sit down and consider just how good this team is.
It's different when you're experiencing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also this is against Brion as well, not necessarily one of the upper
Brion
echelon teams, and you do look good when you're playing against a team that is going to let you look good a little bit more. But this is still a phenomenal display of how to pilot this team composition, as well as just continually put the hooks in, right? It's great League of Legends.
It's not really fair to Bro to immediately be thrown against what I expect will be like the #1 team in the league, right? And thus far, living up to the expectation.
Yeah.
And besides the Elise, they're not really giving anything away either, right? Like, obviously this team comp is good, but like, who picks Elise, right? Elise, I think, is in a great spot in terms of, if you look at like win rate and like the power.
I actually really like metas where Elise is in it.
Yeah, she benefited a lot, I think, from the jungle changes, like at the start of the preseason, right? Making it a lot better for single target junglers like herself to reliably get through a lot of the camps. Pat helping out a lot in that regard. And like, this is this is a methodical game.
Oh
I'm kind of expecting
God.
him to just randomly throw it at some point. Not the game, but like throw the perfect game. Just going in too deep. But
Yeah. I mean, they're a comp that
is-
kind of has to do a little bit of that, right?
This is, yeah, but this game is, this is just beautiful. I love watching games like this. And again, in the spirit of challengers, if you're trash talking bro, you don't get it. If you're criticizing Brian, that's not the story here. That's
No.
not what's happening here. This is, to me, like some of the best gameplay that challengers has to offer in terms of mechanical execution. And it's wonderful to watch.
Yeah, and it's also, it's not fair as well. Like, Dove is only just joined this team. Raptor got called up to the main roster. Him and Umpty are up there playing for Brion in the LCK. So there is, like, there could not be a taller hill to climb in Challenger than for Dove right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, I wouldn't be too critical this time around on the other side. However, you can just watch and admire how well this Challenger team is playing out this game. It's just beautiful. And I'm happy just to continue talking about that. The fact that we've got Lake Drake number 3 denies our Earth, Wind, and Fire, so that's the negatives that I really want to put out there, to be perfectly honest.
Lake Drake.
Yeah, dang it, Lake Drake.
You'll take it as Brion because it means that you don't have to play against either Jeff or, what did we land on? Mecha Drake? Mecha Drake?
Yeah, Mecha Drake.
Mecha Drake?
I like Mecha Drake. And Jeff.
Yeah.
And we know Jeff today. Jeff's staying at home. Valdez be happy.
Yeah, I like Jeff. New Jeff. Old Jeff was not great.
Old Jeff was the worst.
Oh my God,
I think
this
what-
build is disgusting. Like, just to really
Oh
hammer
God.
home to make
he
sure
did it.
that your enemy team is
And
like,
the arrow
oh,
hits. Vision of
This
Empire
is-
comes down. Dove,
Hey,
he may
You
have
know.
just baited himself. That flash. Oh my God, Thanatos, you monster. I feel like we're just
They're all
fans.
dead.
We're just
They're
fans now,
all
not even
dead,
play-by-playing anymore. Oh, that teleport might just be teleporting
no
to their
way they're not
death.
dead.
Okay, can we do some shenanigans? I don't think so. As into the sky goes Lucid, he pops down onto Dove. Decent spell shield there, but it doesn't really do too much. He flashes forward. Pulbay is the one that picks up the kill. Is now Ivory. Yeah, I'm sorry. You've just loaded into the wrong game of League of Legends, I think. Garmin is going to try and do what he can as Loopy might be the first death, and there it goes, the perfect game. Very unfortunate, just the one kill onto the support. His Vision of Empire not going to quite find Frim, but they still managed to get rid of Gamin, and Lucid is well and truly going to kill him. There it goes. Execution with the Spider Q. And yeah, it's all over but the crying. D plus Kia, just absolute masterclass this game.
like what do you even say? Like they're so far up, but this is the most exciting thing to me about Dom 1 or D plus rather is the mechanical execution, right? Like the fact that they're like, yeah, we're far ahead, we can do this. Flashing over the wave, and you shouldn't go for this play. You don't need to go for this play by any means. But I love that they do.
Oh,
right?
heck yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. Pull bait. I got Raging Virgin, guys. No problem. I got Stopwatch as well. Who needs a wave? There's no wave. They're just tanking.
Yeah, just hanging out underneath the turret. I mean, Lucid brings a little bit of a wave. The Spiderlings, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Locked it in. Definitely does not do anything to stop the fact that there's no minions under the turret. However, they are at least minions.
Oh my
to
God.
someone.
So, imagine this. You play your first game for D plus Kia. First game of the year in Challengers. And you're the only one without a bounty. Unbelievable.
Loopy,
Unacceptable.
I think Loopy's
Atlas.
actually, like, Loopy just wanted to give a kill over to his old teammate in Gamin. He was like, buddy, I mean, we got to throw you a bone. Yeah. Oh dear. Well, it's a little bit of a shame for Brion fans, but still, it is so beautiful to watch. Sometimes you got to sit back and admire the good League of Legends. And this is like an 11,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. This Baron should just be taken from D plus Kia, because also their turn from a Baron pit is unbelievable. So they want to start this so that Bro come over to them so that they can get another fight.
Yeah, the only things we should say about the game is just admire it.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. This is as good as it gets, I think, in League. Outside of like the really close back and forth.
Yeah.
This is it's a very different game. It's a game if you're a Brion player, you're very unhappy about. Well,
You are,
I mean,
but like I think in a
you
game
also,
like
what
this,
are you
it
gonna
doesn't
do?
do
You're
that
kinda gonna
much.
giggle,
Yeah, it
right?
doesn't do that much emotional damage though, right? Because this game was over when Lucid's first gank completely shut out the bottom lane. Because then, like, the Nami becomes fish food.
Yeah, the first,
come in, can't play the game.
Like, the first one, there's scenarios where you come, and after the second one, again,
Yeah.
this is done. But the main thing to me is that, and this is something we see T1, for example, do, is that even though the setup wasn't perfect,
All right, hoping that they maybe have an opportunity. That is going to be the stopwatch now down for Rahel, who flashes to get himself out of the way, does die in the end, but can they win the team fight? Poolbay is just monstrous in this game, but 2 kills have gone down, just doing some Xante things. But still, it is only Polo that is left up and available. Sorry, no, Gumin's still there as well, but not for too much longer. Maybe I was just, it was a bit of a spoiler situation. As there we go. That is going to be the 4th kill of the team fight as Lucid's going to take down the inhib.
It's so unceremonious. He's trying to walk out alive, and Fennis is just like, throws 2 autos. Doesn't even need to use a scale. Takes a jungle camp as well. It's just,
yeah. Maybe Gnar is actually the best champion. Maybe I got it wrong.
I think Gnar is doing exactly what you want a Gnar to do, which is be neutral in lane, and then in team fights. I mean, he didn't need to have an impact, so I guess he's just kind of.
This Poolbay build,
dead.
by the way, is just illegal. What is it, like 4th item, Demonic Embrace?
Maybe.
They just never die.
I actually personally don't mind it, knowing that you have an Elise going for full damage as well. So
Yeah.
like you stocking up on more magic damage kind of has diminishing returns, especially because you're rolling this team. You got plenty of damage. You don't also need to do anything. And as we see, within challengers, Poolbay and Bulldog were they were the Swain players. When Ahri was really meta, within the context of challengers, Swain came forward as like one of the biggest counter picks.
Yep.
And both Poolbay and Bulldog, they just knew the champion so well in terms of like the limits, because Swain is one of those champions where you need to all in, right? You can't just sit and fish.
Yeah.
There's times where you need to pull the trigger, and they do it better than anyone else. And,
Well, apart from the other guy that's on D+ Kia. Because I remember Showmaker playing Swain and hitting 7 never moves in a row.
Okay, well, comparing to up-and-coming challenger players to a mid laner that has been one of the top 4 mid laners is a world champion. Okay, sure, Atlas. He's good. You know what? I'll take that comparison. That's a win in and of itself.
But like, I think that we're seeing it a little bit from a lot of these players, is that a lot of the strengths and specialities coming through from the LCK roster does filter down a little bit towards the challenger roster. As this arrow is going to connect, we'll see whether paranoia is going to be enough to deter this team fight. I don't think it's going to be, as the tidal wave gets so much value. To be perfectly honest, Poolbay now wants to get over that wall if he can. That never moved, just incredible. As Dove is well and truly dead. Lucid might die as he flashes out of a cancelling Chaos Storm, but no, he's going to be absolutely fine. That wallop was ridiculous. Made absolutely no sense. That hitbox. I would pause the game right now because I think that looked like it was completely out of range. Super amazing stuff. That's going to be the clean ace here for D+ Kia, and we're going to go to a game number 2 pretty quickly as it's 24 minutes in game number 1.
I took the liberty of
voting. Yeah, please. I was going to write it down after the second gank, but I think that was pretty obvious. They are going to be able to just, blow up the Nami as she was spawning, and that is going to be a dead Nexus. Just a masterclass. Gorgeous League of Legends out of D+ Kia. And I kind of want sister teams to come back to the LCK if they're going to continue playing like that. DRX won, by the way.
I don't know about that.
Congrats, guys. I mean,
had the
they
right
did
one
it.
initially.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. There we go.
What?
Hey, that's Gen.G Global Academy.
We're cycling through. We're giving some wins to the teams that didn't pick up any wins.
They had
That's
a toughie
fine.
today. We're doing some mental support.
Yeah, we are.
The funniest
Look at
part
how
about this
linear
game,
that is.
The funniest part about this game is look who did the most damage in the game.
It's the guy that's up there wailing on Cassante all game, I guess.
Incredible. It goes for a complete masterclass
Yep.
by Damwon Kia. This is a type of draft that has a very specific win condition, which is dive on early waves, either mid or bot. It was bot. They played it out flawlessly, both in terms of execution. you know, you can like nitpick and say maybe they wanted a couple more extra minions. And, like, it doesn't matter. They had a very clear game plan, executed it perfectly, both in terms of macro execution as well as in terms of micro. Micro in particular, like some of the hard moments, Thanatos finding some key moments on his null. Lucid goes without saying. Exceptional game from D plus Kia. For Bro, what you gonna do?
No, I think this is one you just sweep away. You don't even do any like VOD review. You're just talking about what you want to take into the draft next time around. And I think, you know, we've been seeing a lot of Ashe and Varus bans all over the world, honestly, the beginning of this year. So maybe that's an area to attack. I don't know whether you necessarily need to target ban Elise. But also a side selection switch up could certainly add to Bro's chances as well. So possibility to head towards the red side that's been the most popular choice in game number 2 could certainly be an option there.
And
there it is, the most obvious POG
he
ever.
is. If this kid wasn't playing behind Canyon, he would have been called up.
I know, it's so sad, isn't it? Like,
I mean,
Lucid and Poolbay sitting behind Canyon and Showmaker, it's so not fair.
No, for D plus Kia, this is great, because if you ever do lose Showmaker and Canyon, you got round 2 coming right up.
I mean, I'd be nervous though, like, especially like if you think about if Canna has a season that isn't as good, or something like that, Thanatos could just be playing for D plus Kia, like straight up.
No,
with the new rules, with the amount of switching that can happen. That's why I think that like this year especially for starting a Challenger broadcast is so important, because we might just see these players next week, right? In the LCK. It could just happen. It's probably not going to, but we could. It's really, really cool. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, game number 2 of the D plus Kia highlight reel.
포탑이 파괴되었습니다. 파란 팀의 포탑이 파괴되었습니다. 파란 팀의 포탑이 파괴되었습니다.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger 2023 Spring. I'm Atlas. This is Chronicler, and it is time for game number 2 between Breon and D plus Kia. D plus Kia absolutely destroyed Breon in game 1, and we'll see whether they can come back with a little bit more gameplay availability in game number 2, because I don't think very much of it was based on Breon and what they did, more about what D plus Kia did, and how much that really ruined the day of Brion.
What I'm worried about is that you can say ban Elise, and then you're banning Elise, which you're not going to feel great about.
Yeah.
But you also can't not ban Elise, because they'll probably just do the same thing. Because with any prior lane that they can find, right? If you don't ban Elise and they end up getting a Karma, you're going to run into very similar issues. And unfortunately for Brion, I don't see any short-term fixes to what just happened. Because I think that mechanically and overall, in terms of experience and cohesion as a team, D plus Kia is so far ahead of the curve, not just of Brion, for the record. Expect them to be one of the best teams, if not the best, in Challenger regardless. But like, how do you deal with that if you're a team that has played like for a couple of weeks probably together? It's really, really rough.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And I think that with a bit of a side selection change, that might be an opportunity there. Get yourself a little bit of a more comfortable drafting position. We'll see what Brion have actually selected. They are going to be hopping over to the red side. Surprise, surprise. So not going to have the opportunity to, counterpick the Lucian like D plus Kia did so beautifully in the first game. But I'm still not entirely sure whether it's going to change the outcome of this particular series.
I want to say that I believe, and if this was the LCK, I would, but it's Challenger, so we can be a little bit more honest with you guys. Good luck to Brion is all I have to say.
Not that we aren't honest when we're on the LCK broadcast.
I think in the LCK broadcast we err more often on the side of let's try and make it entertaining, make sure that there is a semblance. And you got to understand, I'm referring not necessarily just to LCK, but also to how I streamed it last year, where the words "it's over" were said a lot. Like they were very often uttered in any Challenger games. Often wrong, I might add. Often it was in fact not over. And they found ways. In this case, though, draft is going to give us hopefully a bit of a better picture. But you could do the same thing that we just saw with, say, a Rek'Sai, for example. Or I don't think Rek'Sai is in a great spot. I think Elise actually is quite strong as a jungler. In that she has a decent win rate in solo queue right now as well. I don't think that for competitive, often she will be on the forefront because she does require exactly the type of games that we just saw. Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what Brion want to do. And I want to see the adaptations in the draft. We're going to be getting there very, very soon. In fact, right now. As we can see,
do you ban
blue
Elise?
side for D plus Kia.
That's my big question. Do you do it?
Well, last time they banned Poppy Sejuani, remember? So
yeah, those are. I mean, Lucid and Poppy probably does the same thing. That's the thing I'm really worried about. But we'll see. For Dumor or for D plus Kia, that is going to take a while. There really is not a lot they have to do. They can just sit back, watch. Oh, there it is. Yep.
Sometimes you gotta do it.
You gotta. Yeah. I think otherwise, this will happen.
Yeah, well, the Maokai going to be taken away from Doiv as D plus Kia. Let's see what the plan is this time around. They're going to have the first option. They're going to ban away their own Elise that, of course, Loopy played very, very well in game number 1. Means that we are going to see a very different bottom lane this time around. Of course, half of both sides have been removed.
Okay, you don't B1 Poppy. There's just no way. So, Assumption, Cassante?
Oh, Wukong, I guess.
Okay.
Sometimes you just want a Wukong.
Well, it is one of Lucid's iconic picks. Don't pick Varus. Don't pick like 2 stationary picks. If you go like Varus Heimer, I guess is the idea here. But into Wukong.
Yeah, that
Varus specifically, I think Heimer is fine. Heimer actually deals with Wukong relatively well, being able to both keep on the lookout for him, and also if he does dive in, you do have a lot of upfront bursts.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Ugh.
Rahel and Loopy going to have a plan for this, though, because that's looking like a very scary lane.
It's Zeri Lulu.
Is it just Zeri Lulu?
I think it's just Zeri Lulu. I don't think they can.
Wow.
This is the alternative approach, which is we're just going to team fight. Which, you know, I like Lulu Wukong a lot. I think it's a combo that can be very obnoxious to play into. Zeri Lulu obviously going to be a neutralizing lane, not really going to have a big impact. Vi, good as a counter into specifically the Wukong and into the Zeri. So thus far, at least the draft looks infinitely better for Brion here.
Yeah, remember last time at this stage of the draft, we're like, oh, D+K, we know exactly what you're doing. You're killing the bottom lane at level 3, and that's what happened. This time around, it's more like, D+K, you want to get to later in the game, and you want to win these team fights, and Brion have a beautiful answer to that in the Vi. Cease and desist, pretty good at denying Zeri. As we are seeing a couple of bans here, the Jace is going to be taken away as well as the Renekton. Bit of a top-side focus. Cassante still hasn't seen a ban just yet, and banning Renekton instead of Cassante is an interesting choice. Seems like Thanatos has some plans into it, as of course played the Nard, a pretty great effect in game number 1.
Are you handshaking? It's just, nah, Cassante again. Both seems to be like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that to me says we don't want to play Gwen into it. I do think the Gwen actually worked quite well, even though
I think
Gen.G was
a good pick into
unable
it.
to do that much in the game that Gen.G Global Academy played. It was, I think, in terms of individual pick, still fine.
Yeah,
Seemed
I thought
like,
casting actually played well in lane. It's
yeah.
just things didn't go well outside.
No, the game
of it.
was a disaster. Yeah, but specifically that was quite nice. Yeah, we're just going to give over to Cassante here,
Yeah, looks like it's going to be Cassante.
obviously.
And then, of course, D+Kia go towards... Oh my god, if this is Victor Nah, it is the most boring draft.
Poolbay could go for it. It's definitely Gnar. I don't know about the Victor. Might just go for Swain again.
Could do that. I like Swain's area especially. Oh, or just play Karma.
Oh my god. I love that as well.
All right, Rahel, you're carrying. See you on the other side.
Yeah, this is a Rahel 1v9 type of call. Although, if Lucid gets a lead, which after last game, I'm not feeling too bad about.
Yeah.
This is a very non-interactive draft from D+Kia in terms of you shove waves, you're really hard to punish in any way, and then you team fight around Zeri.
Yep.
Once she is chilling by, I don't know, 2-3 items.
Well, it's going to be hard to play out the laning phase, I reckon, for D+Kia this time around on the bottom side of the map. I think that Varisheimer have so much power and control in that lane. We'll just have to see whether the nameplates are going to come into effect in that regard, or whether there's just a stray monkey that decides to ruin their day.
Could be the case. Post 6, we have seen Vi be pretty successful in locking down Wukongs, of course being able to follow even past a clone. And I think level 3 might have a window. We've seen a lot of Wukongs do this when the champion is quite strong, try and go for an early invade, get a lead that way, because if Vi does fall behind substantially, then the game becomes not very fun for her to play. And the pick potential of Brion, amazing. One downside is, when it comes to actual engage, they're in a little bit of an awkward spot, so if they lose control of the map, they can't either threaten picks or poke. Their composition kind of falls apart. And for Kia, somewhat similar. They're more looking for flanks than for picks, because if either Lucid or Thanatos find their way into the enemy backline, it'll be a toughie.
It certainly will.
Brion to play out.
Well, we'll see how it goes here as, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for potentially the final game of the evening, or the first game in Brion's run to claim their first victory of Challenger 2023. That could be the way. That could be what we're staring down the barrel of. But first, we need to rock out to super cool music and have a look at Summoner's Rift from really high up in the air, Chronicler. That's what we have to do.
I want to give us a task. When the cool breakdown comes, I want everyone to spam doo-doo in chat.
Yeah, we need some doo-doos in chat.
We need some doo-doos. You know, you can do some dancing emotes. Get ready.
Here we go. Oh, we missed it!
No, the invade! The invade killed it!
That is, oh man, I was there. I had my hand in the air. I was ready.
I was getting ready to headbang.
Oh, it was right there.
It was coming.
Oh man,
it was.
Now I have to wait
happen.
until tomorrow, perhaps. Like, we need Brion to win this so that we can get the payoff.
And then not have a level 1 invade happen, I guess. Maybe that was what set it off.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just started the song from a different point. I don't know. Either way,
I'm
very
sad. I was looking forward to having everyone, you know, come together and make some imaginary noise in the chat. That would have been great.
I know. A little bit of a disastrous start to this game, but we'll see whether these teams can pull it back. Already, Pool Bay is being calmer, which is annoying, to say the least.
Virtue as well.
Yeah, is he going to do it twice in a row? He's just a virtuous gamer.
He would.
Well, almost able to get the shield in time was Loopy. That's okay. See how Rahel and Loopy are going to be able to play out a far more gentleman's bottom lane type situation on their side. Of course, Gamin and Polu have an opportunity to be pretty obnoxious. We'll see whether they can actually manage to do so. As Frim, Thanatos, both of them very familiar with this lane setup after playing it for quite some time in the last game.
We call this farming damage for Thanatos, and yeah, Frim's just chilling. There's not a lot happening. Due to the leash that was given, a sidestep.
Yeah.
Thanatos is going to have a slightly later level 2. So Frim going to have a little bit of control of the wave as... Oh, Karma. You are definitely a champion.
Taking the Fox for a walk. That's what he's doing. Well, hopefully we just don't spend too much time looking at mid lane, you know?
They're perfectly fine. When I lived in London, they were actually on the streets everywhere. It's kind of a baffling sight to see.
Foxes?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
They just live there. They just walk around. You know, they're just amongst us, just minding their. I mean, they mind their own business in regards to me. I don't know if you have like chickens or something, then you might be in trouble.
Well, like I mean, foxes are an absolute massive pest in Australia. They kill all the native wildlife. They're actually, you know, hellspawn.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of trouble with that, don't you?
Yeah.
That's why you guys are very understandably protective of all the specific flora and fauna you guys have.
Yeah, and we also ruined the lives of a lot of New Zealanders as well, because I think we accidentally introduced Australian possums into New Zealand or something.
I can imagine that did not go over well.
I think that's what I don't actually know the full history, but I'm pretty sure there was a bit of a mishap with a boat and a possum. A whole bunch of possums got to New Zealand, and it was bad news. But I might be entirely wrong. Don't know whether there's any Australians up. It's getting pretty late, but it's not too late. If you're in chat, let us know. Anyway, Ivory's going to take a bit of damage here. Manages to walk it out. Of course, Pool Bay being very frustrating on this Karma is...
Payback?
Okay, yeah, Dove looking for his opportunity. Is he going to Dove? I don't think so.
You don't have the accent to do that. You can't... It needs to be... like very, very, very deep cut in terms of British accent to really nail that.
Hume has confirmed that apparently I was correct with the fact that bit of some invasive species issues. I know they had a lot of you know, land birds, you know, like the kiwi, for example. You know, the national
kiwi,
mascot
ostriches,
on the ground.
Emus.
Emus. They're Australian. They're also big enough not to worry about a fox. They could just boot a fox in the head, I think.
Pool Bay dead?
Pool Bay is in a heck of a lot of trouble. He's going to get charmed back. The flash was decent, but not enough. And in fact, probably shouldn't have been invested there. That is going to be first blood going over to Ivory. This is fantastic for Breon.
Really nice start to the game. I'm going to be very happy about that. Able to go get the summoner, which you're Karma, and you're playing into Vi Ahri. It won't be fun. Post 6, you will have a terrible time. Fortunately for Pool Bay, the moment that Dove showed mid, we see Thanatos immediately benefiting from it and being able to get a lot of damage down. And yeah, for Pool Bay, gets taken down. He's hovering towards the side of the map where his own jungler is, but Dove able to dodge any vision. And yeah, once that Q hit, you are most certainly dead. And without the flash especially, as soon as Dove has 6, even with flash, you're probably dead. But now you really can't do anything, because otherwise, you know, if you're not too far up the lane, then you can flash to safety underneath your turret, but you can't. So if you're underneath your own turret, something is definitely going wrong here.
Yep, but also Pool Bay doesn't really need to care that much. As long
No,
as he
he's not
can
relevant.
put a shield on Rahel at some point towards the later stages of the game, he's doing his job. That's basically how that one goes. However, if Ivory gets super fed off the back of this, that's when things become a problem. As now, Frim was looking for his opportunity. Flickback not going to connect there. And so Thanatos will live. Flash not invested, but Ghost was thrown out there from Frim. So you can see getting a bit feisty there towards the top side, but now missing a summoner spell.
The setup is very different from the Monkey. I do want to highlight that as Jeff has joined the Rift. Might be a goal for either of the two teams here.
Yeah, welcome, Jeff.
Where, as you pointed out, this is a type of combo. If Rahel falls behind, if he falls behind the curve significantly, you don't really do anything. Like, your comp just doesn't provide that much. You maybe can win early on off of Lucid damage or if he gets fed, but that doesn't seem to be a very likely occurrence. And you can see the difference in the way Dumb plays, or D+ rather, plays as well. Playing towards farming. I think they're looking for first item spikes at the very least. And then if they see a good opportunity, I'm sure they'll pull the trigger once the ultimates are available. But now maybe just try and sneak an objective left and right. I'm not sure if Lucid is going to get spotted here on that ward. Didn't see any pings, so I'm pretty sure he made it out. And he knows as well that the Brion was in the bot side of the map. Picking up Jeff.
Yeah.
As,
next one's going to be
coming
Earth.
up.
I love that. Bit of Kwame. Did you watch Captain Planet in the Netherlands?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure Kwame was the Earth guy in Captain Planet. I reckon Twitch chat could probably confirm that one.
I mean, I believe you.
All right.
But I'm not familiar, is all I'm saying.
All right. Well, look, well, hopefully we get some confirmation.
You can lie to me. I don't think this will be a particularly high-octane game for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it is definitely slowing down. I feel like it's because D+ Kia didn't want to do stuff in the early game, and they're not. Like, all right. Fair enough.
That's not the game you want in your second game of a third best of 3 on the day.
Yeah. Well,
Game 1 was a lot better in that regard. We could just sit there and go, oh,
yeah, just like you just get really excited about the things happening on the screen and stuff like that. So far this game though, Brion do have themselves a slight advantage. 600 gold, nothing to scoff at. They also have the Drake as well, and they're looking to pick up Shelly. This is good news. Rahel, if he gets some plates though, might even be happy about the whole situation, as Gamin's going to make his way back down towards that bottom lane. And Frim looking to come on over and is going to be able to at least spot what's going on, but they get the cry anyway. That is going to be Harold falling as well. Sorry, Shelly falling as well. My original name for Rift Herald when she first entered the Rift was Harold.
Harold the Herald.
Yeah, Harold the Herald.
When did we swap to
Shelly was
Shelly?
It was just another one, and I think we just decided that we liked Shelly better.
Makes
we
sense.
did a vote, I believe, many years ago.
Many a year ago. We've added a lot to the League lexicon, I feel. I say we. I don't think I have necessarily, but the LCK as an institution has
As an
added
institution,
a lot.
I
As
would
an
say so too.
institution, yeah.
We add to the syllabus quite often.
Much, yeah, definitely very aggressively. I would add. If that's good or bad, you know, depends on who you ask.
Yep.
Personally, I'm a big fan. That's why I ended up here. Yeah, you know, if I'm like, what are these clowns doing? I wouldn't have applied, would I?
Yeah. No, if you had have known, I think you probably would have rethought your decision, but that's fine. Thanatos going to find a wallop and a Gnar into the wall here. You can see we're sort of running out of stuff to fill with at this point in time because D+ Kia are just trying to slow this game down as much as humanly possible. They're doing a very good job of it, because as you can see, we're back to dead even, despite that first blood going towards the mid lane. Pulbay having a very good time farming. Dove going to look for something here onto Loopy, who is somewhat caught out, but just says Skippy really loud and is going to be able to get himself to relative safety. Polo's going to come on over, misses the grenade though, the most difficult skill shot to land in my opinion. There we go, ult underneath the turret. Can the dive work out? But the wild growth is going to be there, and Rahel absolutely fine. They're not going to be able to find this one whatsoever. The juggling doesn't quite work out for Gum in there towards the end. However, they do survive. A lot of howevers, and it's going to mean that Bro unable to augment their kill score at all. And D plus Kia, walk away just fine. That charm was beautiful from Ivory. And Spirit Rush is going to mean that, oh, never mind. Okay, Karma things happening as he just flashes and picks up the kill. What is this? Oh, Karma Gaming.
I didn't even know Karma had that much skill expression, Atlas.
I don't know whether
That's
she
a
even did
first.
that. Oh, no. Man, as soon as that charm hit and Ivory did all of that upfront damage, I was like, oh, we got this. But then you just take the Ahri for a walk, I guess. Was it a Mantra W that managed to
Yeah, Mantra W gives you,
there it is.
the lower it is, the more health it gives you, so a lot of health there, and then this, I gotta say, this flash from Full Bay Appreciate, I don't even know it's necessary, I think the cooldown was still up.
I think he saw the start of the Q animation or one of the animations, and
he's like,
and then flash
I'm not
Q
taking
to
any
make
risks.
sure. Yeah.
Fortunately, it is Radiant Virtue, so that kill doesn't really matter. Shocking turn of events. But that has also taken away the one angle, and even though it's not in the most entertaining way, while all of this has been happening, D plus Kiev actually clawed back their way into a lead this game, right?
Yeah.
Like, neutralizing play on bot side, dive was failed. As a result, Lucid is able to get a little bit of a farm lead. Now Brion will probably claw it back after getting some blades here for free. But overall, this is not the lead you're looking for.
No.
If you're Brion, right? Like it started off very well, but then it very rapidly kind of started showcasing the inertia that many a person might wrongly, I might add, associate with the LCK. Yeah, but it's definitely
it's
definitely here.
Yeah, no, we are slowing down somewhat. I feel like it's also going along with our brains quite effectively because my brain is like virtually stopping working.
Yeah. I know. I've mixed up champions a bunch of times already. I think you called Ashe Elise at some point.
Did I really? That sounds like something I'd do.
I'm not going to cast Stokes Atlas. I'm not in the best of spots. I'm not.
How's the greenhouse?
So if on one end of the curve you have Kobe at MSI jet lag, and on the other hand you have normal person, I'm like right in the middle. That's where I'm at right now.
Well, Kobe at MSI was definitely a lot of straight up Kobe. That is very, very true.
It's very pure,
indeed,
unadulterated Kobe.
I would never say too much though, because it was glorious.
No, it can't be.
It's some of the best content ever.
No, impossible.
But yeah, I'm kind of feeling it with you. I haven't had quite enough sleep to get me back on form. However, we will be back with far more of probably exactly the same result next time we're casting on a Monday. Next time around, though, it will be Valdez and Wolf that have the Monday shift, so it'll be their turn to lose their minds, and we'll be on the Tuesday shift next week. Pretty sure, but who knows?
The cool thing about Challenger is that, especially as we get deeper into the split, you'll lose your mind no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's the first series or the second. I remember some best of ones that made me question a lot of the things that I thought I believed in. As slowly you can sense that we're encroaching on like late night radio host territory.
Yeah, it is feeling a little bit like that.
I don't mind, you know, see what the...
Do you want to just lower the... We could lower the tone a little bit and just go into like... And so we've got some ARAM occurring in the mid lane.
Shooting over the wall here, but nothing too invigorating.
We could potentially take some calls from the audience as well, so make sure you text in on Twitch chat, and we could get back to you with any advice that you might have about your life, unless something happens in this video game, in which case we'll go ahead and commentate
we'll
that.
spring right into action, but until then, we are just enjoying the smooth sounds of minions getting taken down by champions one after another.
Indeed, Rahel just stacking up that cash money over and over again, currently sitting on a 20 CS advantage over his opposition. That's what we want to see. Charm is going to go wide there, as Pulbay has the ability to speed up Loopy, who also has the ability to speed up themselves.
Got a little bit too close to action there. Was a wee bit scared, but everything's nice.
Yeah.
Back and calm again.
It's calming down one more time. In fact, Denunciator, yes, someone said jet lag.
Continues. It's wonderful. I'm loving it. Nothing is happening.
It's not. There is a Scryer's Bloom gazing
Mark gonna go down?
beautifully,
We'll get taken.
wistfully over the river.
Possibly an inkling of a fight.
Ooh, at least. a Rift Herald, the second of the game, is going to be taken down
I
to
don't
very
think you
low
want to do this,
health.
Brian. I think you just let it go.
Do
You know,
it. Was considering it.
look deep into yourself and know that it's better to let these things go. Beautiful.
They're going to wait it
So
out.
in control of their own emotions. That's admirable.
It's beautiful. Come in, also getting a bit of damage done there. As you can see, some poke coming out. I really
Indeed.
did say words a little bit too quickly there.
Can't have
Don't
that,
really.
Atlas.
I don't really want to. I don't want to break it.
Don't want to break the spell.
Definitely don't. So if there is any, no one's said anything.
At what point
Ooh.
are we faking calls?
No, we're not. We're not faking them.
We're not fake. I mean, I'd be down.
We're not faking them at all. In fact, Puru is our first caller.
We can do.
They ask, when will casters dance on stream? Chronicler, could you answer this one for us?
Thank you very much. I will not comment. I think dance is something that should happen organically. When you're in the right state of mind, and forcing people to dance is a little bit crude, and
What if the
perhaps
person-
more so to try and
What if the
Make fun
person
of someone.
promised to dance?
that would be me. I still owe the people an anime dance, and I would much appreciate you if you didn't remind them, because I swear every time I think I'm getting away with it, because I really don't want to. But I feel like now that I've mentioned it again, the possibility is out into the world yet again.
Well, I am feeling very good about the fact that I did reinstate in people's minds that you owe us an anime dance.
Yeah.
And I believe also that Puru knew exactly what they were asking. As in we go, we've got a bit of a fight. Cyclone comes down, Chains of Corruption in answer, really nicely. But there is still a Wild Growth that's going to be available. The
Turbo coming
defensive
in.
cooldown's very, very high. Doiv is just going to go down. No ceasing and desisting for D plus Kia this time. And that is going to be a couple of kills, or at least one kill.
Just one
kill. I thought
It's
it was
just
so much
one
action.
kill, Atlas.
There was so much action compared to the
It's
rest of the
just
game,
one
Chronicler.
kill.
So much action.
Oh, let's go. We got him.
Hey, look, Shirley also dived towards the turret, as you could see. Man, I got a little bit scared because we raised our voices so high. I'm like, are we going to wake the neighbors? And then I realized we're in a studio, and I'm not at home.
Soundproof studio. It's giving me flashbacks to Worlds 2021 when I had a mattress up against my wall to make sure I didn't wake my
Yeah,
neighbors, and I
yeah.
had to do my Gen.G rants because I was really mad at them, and I couldn't actually raise my voice because I was afraid that they were gonna like bang the walls or call the police.
Oh no. That would have added to the entertainment value. Let's have a look at this one more time.
As a lot of damage coming down here, and it looks like a good target because of the mini Gnar, but unfortunately the Lulu ult keeps him alive for a really long time. A bit of an unfortunate cleanse there from Rahel, because Doiv doesn't care if he actually would have gotten the ulti off. Unfortunately for Doiv, he was focused down the moment that the targeting recticle of the ultimate started, and as a result, teleport from Frim not really getting anything done, and overall, in true Challengers fashion, it's day one, and we're losing our minds.
Yeah, massively.
perfect.
You also said recticle, which I think is absolutely hilarious. I don't know why.
Isn't
It's
that-
not
that's-
a real word.
Is it not?
No, reticle. It's just
Oh.
reticle.
Okay, well,
but
apologies for
recticle
that.
is, oh, it's brilliant. Anyway, Thanatos is going to hop over the wall, quite literally, because that's the name of the ability. Wild Growth not going to save him this time, as that is Piercing Arrow from Gumin. So, even like all things should, as Ivory dives for it, it's a really nice charm, but no follow-up onto Rahel there, unfortunately. Cyclone is going to be the response here from Lucid, and now it could be the certification moment. The first kill for the Zeri does come in. Not going to certify it, however, because a lot of it was just Lucid playing some real good Monkey King.
Lucid's play there was so, and I hope we get a replay of that. I want you to pay attention to the fact that he initially looks like he gets engaged on, then sidesteps, and then goes in for the re-engage when Brion's guard is down. And unlike the first game, which was start to finish domination, this is looking very different. Watch here, Lucid able to draw so much attention so that the fact that Rahel gets charmed and guys, it's time crowd, it's not going to do anything. Gets hit.
Yeah.
Lucid single-handedly due to the shielding actually is a big threat, and this is something we haven't really talked about because we were talking a lot about the Zeri and we were also losing our collective minds. But what's really, really key is at this point in the game, we're still relatively early in, right? Not that high in levels yet, not that high in resistances. So the damage from Wukong actually really hits. So what you see there is just with the shielding, from Lulu and Karma, he by himself basically took on like 3 people for a considerable amount of time. Cooldowns went into the back line, didn't get anything done. He went McKill second as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Pulbe is just like, I just need to press buttons on Lucid and Rahel, and it's totally fine. Like, he knows his job.
He knows
entirely.
And he
And look at this. We've also got Shirelias, so like it's like the most enchanter supports that you can possibly have.
He has 3 kills on
I know.
Radiant
Yeah, I
Virtue,
know.
McKill's
And he also
Karma.
1v1 outplayed Ivory, who got first blood.
like
on
he
him
does
as
it
well.
all.
Yeah, he does.
Now all we need is for him to play bruisers, you know.
Find
Unlock his
yourself,
inner
find
trophy.
yourself a mid laner who supports his team like Pulbe. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. It's just he's also got a lot of haste. He's a hasty boy. Is Pulbe in that mid lane? Having a very good time. It is going to equal out to about a 4,000 gold lead, and slowly but surely, D plus Kia are just hitting critical mass. And I barely even want to watch the Zeri moments that are going to happen towards the end of the game.
The worst part is like, I don't think there's a lot you can do, barring D plus Kia making big mistakes. Because even if, and this is a big if, you need 3 things to happen. Rahel needs to miss position, then Doiv and Ivory at the very least, preferably more people, but at the least those 2 need to be on top of Rahel, and Pulbe and Lupi can't be there. Because it doesn't matter how out of position you are. If Karma with Radiant Virtue and a McKills, and there's a Lulu with Wild Growth and heal
Yeah.
as well. Like, you're not killing Zeri.
No, you're not.
It's just not happening. And like,
You've got
then what do
double
you do?
cleanse as well.
You can't kill Karma. As long as Thanatos, which, again, power to Thanatos, we meme a lot on Gnar, but when Gnar is played well, Zeus is another really big example of this.
Yeah.
Like, you see the value of the pick. It's just, I think that it is really interesting as a champion that, while kind of boring, is people just tanks and full combo and doesn't care at all.
Extendo beam.
While the champion, I think, is definitely boring, the skill expression in terms of a good and like a great Gnar or like a mediocre Gnar
Oh, it's huge.
are mind-blowing. And unfortunately for Bro, I don't think Thanatos is going to ever be in a position where he's like mini Gnar to take down as... This is just rude.
Why is Pulbe doing so much damage? He has no damage items at all. I guess he's hitting Polu, who's, you know, just not exactly the tankiest guy. Well, Doiv does have a decent angle here. Can get over the wall.
They know.
Possibly. Lucid going to move on in there, and yeah, you can see Doiv feeling like he's been spotted out. All right, Thanatos has hit that Mega Gnar. This is the window here for D plus Kia to try and find something. Boulder is going to connect there as Thanatos just gets himself out. Yeah, in we go. Q's going to be charged up. Wants to go for the 50-50. There it is. Early smite to come through from Lucid. But can they win the fight is the question. As D plus Kia looking for their angle, not being too hasty about it, as you can see.
Oh, God.
And Lucid's looking to try and get this flank angle. Rahel is behind him. He can skate on over. He can land here at any time. They're looking to try and split up the fight as they dive on forward. Rahel, no one's there for him to hit. The rest of the team, though, is still winning out the fight. What's going on here, Chronicler? They've got all of these augmentable champions, but it seemed like the enhancers were just enhancing each other and still winning the fight. This is so dumb.
What can you do? No one dies. You just keep on trucking, Rahel.
Yep, I think Gumin, he's
think
defecting.
He's
He's out of here.
fine.
He's like, this
He's
G plus
chilling.
Kia team, they're all right. They're able to get the execution. Very nicely done. This is we're making sure that we...
Give me a replay of that fight, because that was lunacy. What happened is effectively we got 2 fights, but because of all the summoners available from Brienne, everyone kind of flashed out the moment that Rahel skated over the wall. Because again, look, I want to look at... We basically have Lucid and Rahel, chapter 1, and then we have chapter 2. But the moment Rahel comes in, everyone flashes away from his ultimate. No one is actually going down initially. They have frame, sure, but that doesn't really matter. And in the meantime, because of the entire backline being under threat, and Brienne at this point being substantially far behind, they don't actually kill anyone of the... Yeah, that's yeah.
So Ivory survives, Gumin survives.
Because you can't kill you can't kill anyone on Dunwall. It's just they're either too slippery or they have a critical mass duo, and this is such an uninteractive comp. The one upside,
Redemption as well.
the one upside is that they got the Lava Dragon, which means possibly
Hey, there we go.
if Brion gets the next Drake, which by that point I don't think Damwon should get that.
Fire
but-
Soul's pretty cool as Lucid gets over the wall, but is it enough to save him is the question. Wild Growth says absolutely yes, as it seems like he's just unkillable. Doif is likely dead and is going to be going down, but can they get more is the question. Ivory, fantastic charm. As the flash forward from Rahel. Oh my goodness, you said something about critical mass, or at least one of us did, and we're getting real close to that because that's an Infinity Edge in his pocket and you can see he's not afraid to
I
use
think
it.
that's game.
It may
They're
just
gonna
be.
end it.
All right.
That's it.
That seems like somewhat of an anticlimax, but all of a sudden it's an 8,000 gold lead as well, Chronicler. This game just fell out of Brion's hands without them even really noticing. It was a sleight of hand victory here by D+ Gear.
I don't think you can call it sleight of hand when it takes 20 minutes out of us.
27 minutes, in fact. As Ivory's looking to run this one out, but he's going the wrong direction, and that is going to be him falling down. Just tidying up some loose ends here on their side. And I'm not entirely sure who to vote for. I'm gonna go with Lucid again.
All right.
Because I think his Wukong was absolutely fantastic.
I'm gonna go with Full Bay.
Yeah,
I
for the
don't-
disgusting
I
karma
don't
play.
want to, but I feel like I have to.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably gonna get it, but I something happened and I'm incapable of voting for karmas.
It's a personal thing.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of years ago where there was just too many, and
It's
they
never-
were
you've never
so
gotten over
strong,
it.
and they were definitely the reason why their team was winning. But it felt so bad, you know?
Yeah, they don't feel like a very high. The most high impact moment in the entire game we got was the 1v1. That was it.
Yep.
The 1v1 between Karma and Ari. That was hype. Everything else.
By the way, I was corrected. Kevin Kim with a great comment here that it's sleight of hand by the world's slowest magician. That's sort of what sums up that
Isn't
game.
the whole definition of sleight of hand that it's quick?
No, it's not. No, it's just that
Doesn't
no
have
one
to be.
notices.
Okay, that's
it
fair.
can be as slow as you like.
Yeah, that's how the comp works. Look at the damage. Oh,
Yep.
Actually, no, the Karma
the
part,
Karma's doing way too
not
much
okay. But the Zeri doing the most damage. I'm sure like 3K of that came from like the final fight after he got IE. Roughy for Brion. We did see them get a little bit of an early gold lead, but as expected, I think Damwon then did everything they could, keeping really good track of where Dorif was, not contesting when they didn't need to. And it's not fun, it's not interesting, but it's the best way to play out the game in that scenario because you know if you can get to free items on Zeri with this comp, you can do it anyway. And in hindsight, you know, maybe it should have been the Lucid vote again because I think his team fighting sense was together with Pule was one of the biggest difference makers. And I can't get over how cool it is to me that we have a mid-jungle duo that is as good as they are on B+.
Yeah.
Right? Like, going
And in
back,
Challenger as well. Like,
Yeah.
these guys are playing absolutely LCK level League of Legends. Especially Lucid's performance today was just amazing. Of course, you know, you have to take into account the opposition that they're facing.
True.
And Brion have, you know, yet to really find their footing so far this season and stuff like that. But
It's gonna
you
take
just
a while
watch,
for them.
you watched like the raw planning and execution of these like really creative compositions and stuff like that. You can see that this is a team that's going to be going places.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult for them to get to the main roster because, of course, that is definitely some
that's happening.
some
Yeah.
top end of the LCK type material. But it certainly means so much for, you know, if you're watching D+ Gear play this game and you own a team in another region or you own a
salivating.
team that doesn't exactly have the greatest
yeah.
roster in the LCK, you're like, oh man, that's ridiculous. It's
No!
404.
No!
Understanding not found, I guess.
I was on board with Lucid. I was on board.
What?
I was on board with my boy Pool Bay. Of all the pogs for Zeri, this is definitely one of them.
This is definitely one of the Zeri POGs. That is absolutely
So
true.
I do actually want to give credit to Rahel. I think Rahel was a definite weak point on Damwon Kia last year. Back then they were Damwon Kia, so I'm safe there.
Yep.
He really was. The team was extremely good, but it was really very about the top side of the map. And again, can draw historical parallels there with our own Nuclear, right? Who, after he got replaced by Beryl, the team, or after he got replaced by Ghost Rider, the team as a whole started to function a wee bit better. But Rahel was just, the team was still good, and he wasn't a detriment, but he was definitely the weakest link together with Bible. And I know this is Zeri. I don't think he should have gone POG for this because this is a comp that literally revolves all around him. But I do think that what he's shown here today is really cool. Of course, again, playing against weak opposition, but to me, as someone who's seen him play for like the last year and a half, it looks like there has been a bit of development. And that's really cool. And that's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what D plus Kia have planned for us for the next few games that they have as well, because this is a team that does look like they're front runners for not only being the best in the league, but also for playing some of the most interesting compositions. And I mean, that last one, it wasn't uninteresting. It was boring. I think we can pretty safely say that that style of comp, mid, Karma, Lulu, Zeri, like that sort of stuff, that's boring. We're allowed to say it. But
it was well done.
It was well executed. They played it out in the right way. And when boring is creative, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. You know, we can just do some radio segments and stuff like that. It's totally fine. We have hand mics now. It feels real doing like those sort of radio segments.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe we should like hang them up, you know, to really get the real radio DJ vibe going.
Oh, like hang them from
a
thing. I don't know whether you guys can...
I don't think you need to act.
I think it needs to...
you need to act it out right now. But yeah,
like that.
That's what, and then you can like lean in forward and be like, "Hello, everyone."
Yeah, I think we can do that, but we have absolutely no fallback,
LCK
so I have no idea what my
Challengers
voice sounds
League
like.
Radio.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what was happening.
Yeah.
For a large part of that game.
Yeah, it's LCK CL.
So,
something. Yeah.
Overall, that marks the end of the first day of Challengers.
It does.
It had everything but an Elder flip. That's the only thing that we haven't seen yet, and that
in fact,
that is...
Elder didn't even die. We didn't even get to name Elder.
No, we still need to do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elder needs a name. We're happy to stick with Shelly and Shirley because I just don't want to rename Shelly and Shirley.
No, I think that's fine. I don't think we need to overforce it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
We'll get back. I have some suggestions, but maybe.
So we'll take stock.
To Veldis and Wolf tomorrow.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I think Wolf might need Wolf might need to name Elder Drake because Valdez got Jeff. We took care of most of the rest. Of course, here at the Challenge broadcast, we also had the broadcast team contribute to at least one or two of them, as Wind and Earth are both, you know, that's on the top left of the screen. Totally fine. Jeff, Chemtech. We had Mecha Drake to come through. That was Puru that came up with that one. Absolutely fantastic there. We had Lake Drake, which was some of your best work.
Thank you.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm very happy about that.
So as it turns out, I have named nothing.
But you have... no, you did Mecha Drake. What are you talking about?
No, that was Puru. I was Meccano Drake.
That's good enough.
Credit where credit's due, you know?
I'll allow
I
it.
read that in Twitch chat.
I have, of course, over the
Oh,
years...
no, it's Static Drake. Static Drake.
It's Static Drake.
Yeah, or Shiv Drake.
Renamed it.
If it's feeling spicier.
Let's do Static Drake.
Oh, man, now I'm going to get confused.
I want your take, Atlas. After your first official day of Challenger, I know you've been on the co-stream every now and then. How did it feel?
Well, I'm a little bit tuckered out because 3 best of 3s is a lot of best of 3s. Thankfully, I mean, it's only 7 games. It's not, you know, we could have been here for 9 games.
We could have been.
In reality, but we're not. It's 7 games. It does feel like it was a long day, but that might have been from severe lack of sleep.
Possibly.
That may also be playing a bit of a part here. I know that you are quite jet-lagged yourself, but I did have a great time on the show. How about you?
It was lovely. No, what I was, obviously, I was so stoked that it was an official Challenger broadcast. I have been very, very passionate about this league for a while, and with some of the LCK players that have come in, and now obviously also you guys actually partaking in it. I think it's really exciting. But I was worried because, you know, it is still different, but it feels the same. And that's the best part of me, because I think that Challengers being its own thing, being this nice little cozy, silly league where we see both some of the mechanical talents that Korea and the LCK has to offer that I guarantee you will win
an LCK down the line is incredible.
Yeah.
But we can also just sit here and have some fun, and that's wonderful.
Absolutely. Also, Lithify, tuck Atlas under a blanket. Thank you so much. I would very much like to be tucked under a blanket, and that is what I'm going to do as soon as we get back. But let's go over today's result. DRX managed to take down Nongshim. Gen.G able to get the win over Harmer Life Esports in a pretty close series, to be perfectly honest. A lot to look forward to for Harmer Life Esports there. And then we had the D plus Kia show. First, they showed us aggressive, fast-paced League of Legends, and second, they didn't. But they still won.
They showed us peak LCK gameplay in a slow and methodical, well thought out. No, it was boring, but it was well executed nonetheless.
It was beautiful boring. It was
it
glorious
really was.
boring. It was like watching the prettiest snail you've ever seen cross a path.
How can what are the what are the defining factors for a snail to be pretty?
I mean, maybe
Is it the house?
beautiful, maybe interesting.
Is it the house?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the
like a nice swirl.
yeah, you know, it's like
I like it. I'm on
Alright.
board.
Well, speaking of being on board, are you on board with some more Challenger League of Legends
Yeah.
tomorrow? Kwandong Freaks are going to be taking on KT in the first match, brought to you by Valdez and Wolf, and then T1 against Live Sandbox. And
Ooh.
I think that one might be a toughie. We'll see how T1's Challenger roster is going to hold up against
Hey, they
Live
have
Sandbox this time around.
MSI participant Bay.
Hey, and
At the
actually,
ready.
I'm not going to lie, I thought Bay was pretty good
He
at
was,
MSI. Was it a couple of years ago now? Or was it last year? No, it was a couple of years ago.
And I also want to highlight on the closeout that Smash is a player that I think is going to be very exciting on T1. So look out for that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to get through the entirety without a fight, at least in public.
Yeah, and
Well,
look, now, can I not? Maybe if I don't end the show, then you can't attack me at the end.
Smart. I like it. Just keep it going.
I didn't know it was that bad. Were the jokes really bad? Was there one that was sticking out that really bothered you? It was Medic. When Medic comes in, it's the competition.
I'm just kidding. I had a wonderful
You
time.
know,
It was amazing.
That's the real problem. But I think that it's probably time to end the show. I'm not entirely sure whether we're supposed to, but I guess if I just stop talking, maybe we'll just end the stream.
And otherwise
I don't
we'll
know.
keep going.
I'm going to test the theory for a second. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCK Challenger 2023 Spring.
집중하세요. 라스리안 온비